What, the recording?
Yeah, recording.
Because
Yeah.
it'll be so big of a file.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking for like an hour.
Yeah, that was an hour of the last one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then let me see. Is your mic still working?
I believe so.
Say
Testing.
something. Justin?
Testing.
Yeah, yeah. All right, there you go. Then my working. Okay, my mic is working. Okay, this is cool.
See if.
You see, Justin. I just don't.
Oh, go ahead.
See, man, that's the. See, this is what I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
I'm at the age now. But me and you the same age.
I'm at the age. We're both at the age.
And
I'm trying to fight aging.
Yeah, me too. But that's the thing is like
it's a battle.
Like I know it's you, my friend Rory. He doesn't have. He's around the same age. Carlos, his wife, they don't have any. They're 44, 45. They don't have any kids.
I have two friends that are about our age.
Yeah.
Yeah. One's 1 year older than me, and then one's younger.
Yeah.
1 year younger.
My friend Ryan doesn't have any kids. My cousin. There's a lot of people in their 40s don't have any kids. So
Children don't bother me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I learned it younger. I think it's an ego thing.
Is it an ego thing? Yeah.
It really is. It's ego, and it's
selfish to me because I'm like
it's primal.
Yeah, because I'm like, who's gonna wipe my ass when I'm 80? I'm like, having my
yeah. So it's like there's a lot of it wrapped up in there. Who's gonna take care of me when I'm older?
That's all self-centered, right? Huh?
All self-centered.
I'm like, fuck, I need to have a kid.
So somebody will care about me when I get older.
When I get older,
because you're worried about being alone. But I think learning how to be alone is very important. I mean, I've been alone for the last month. I feel fine. Occasionally you can feel lonely. Yeah. But for the most part, if you're comfortable,
I actually kind of enjoy it sometimes.
I love it.
Is that?
I wouldn't say there's some antisocial in it, but then there's also maturity in it, I think too.
Right.
I was constantly trying to hang out with people when I was younger because I felt like this need to
be
accepted and be in a group.
I think that comes with youth, huh? You want to be with the crowd.
Yeah, of course.
Then as you get older, you don't give a fuck.
Nope.
You enjoy being by yourself. Like I was thinking about like a girlfriend, right? I haven't had a girlfriend. I mean, I haven't
had a girlfriend in a really
long time.
Like 8 years.
Right. It's probably about the same for me, right? And I was like,
it feels good.
Right. I was like, oh my God, like I enjoy being by myself. A woman would be in the way. Like I would have to, I have to take her somewhere.
Yeah.
If I just want to stay at home and just chill, no, I want to go out. Like fuck, I want to. Like you gotta compromise. Like fuck.
Compromise.
So now I'm like,
because you're merging with another person's consciousness.
It's crazy because when me and my ex broke up, right? She actually helped me move into my new place, right? After we broke up, she's like, it's like, well, I guess that's it. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm by myself now. Because me and her were living together for like a long time.
How long?
At least like 7 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You were married basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh shit.
What was the antithesis of breaking up?
Because I was fucking around.
Oh, all right.
I was fucking around. And then I realized.
She knew it?
She kept finding out I wasn't good at it. That's when I realized. And she kept giving me chance after chance. And she's like, yeah, we got to break up. You got to move out. And then we broke up and we moved out. And I figured, okay,
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I mean.
And then eventually.
Yeah.
But we became friends. We stayed friends until she found somebody else. I'm like, fuck you. How the fuck you got somebody else? I was like, wait a minute, we're not together anymore.
Yeah.
She's moving on, dude. Like,
yeah. And she's allowed to.
Yeah, she's
more so because she was very patient with you.
Right. And I didn't realize.
As long as we don't know that she was fucking around too.
Yeah, but
probably not.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. Until I fucked up too many times. But towards the end, we was like we weren't together. She met some other guy.
We were just living together.
Yeah. We were just roommates. And then I got mad by her fucking another guy.
That's common.
It was just a mess.
Yeah.
So we needed to go our separate ways.
But that mess is,
Yeah.
I think relationships are more complicated now that we are evolved beings with brains that think. Whereas when we were more primal, it was just about fucking having children, protecting your children,
and that's it.
There wasn't
stuff.
I mean, not even that long ago. I mean, I just finished watching a really cool series called Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix, and it was showing Japan just around the time they got guns. They were taking in guns, but there was a period of time when Japan wasn't letting any foreigners in.
Right.
And the two professions for women were either concubine,
right,
or wife. That's all you got to do. And so, like, you could see that
it's kind of like it is now. Women mostly, you ain't married.
That's not true.
They belong to the. These women nowadays belong to the gang.
Yeah. Somebody's been red pilled by Andrew Tate.
Right. She's not yours. She's all of us. All these women are not your women. She's all of our women. Don't you see? I don't watch him a lot.
No.
He's funny though. I like to watch because I think he's funny.
I mean, just like Trump. Trump is funny to watch.
Yeah.
He says some crazy outlandish shit. So
now, one thing that Andrew Tate did say, I want to in this kind of, I don't know. I think he's right.
He can be right when in a little bit of a way.
He said this about being with the modern woman nowadays.
And where? America.
In America.
Yeah, America.
Being in the modern in America.
All over the place, isn't he?
Huh?
Isn't he also in like UK?
I think he's somewhere. Yeah, he's like another area. Him and his brother. He has a brother that they have a podcast now. It's weird because his brother has hair and he doesn't have hair, but they both look alike. But anyway, he said that you can't make a relationship with modern women nowadays because they've been with too many men. And he said the reason why is because a woman at the beginning, when she's younger, she may have fell in love with maybe.
Sorry about that.
Oh, go ahead.
No. It's just I'm shutting off.
He said that woman, like when she was younger, in America, she may fell in love when she was 16, that crush, and she was in love with that guy. Then the guy she was in college with, and maybe a guy after she graduated with, and her first job. She's like, she may have fallen in love with like the first two guys, the guy who took her virginity, and maybe one or two guys after that.
I think I know where you're going.
But after she's been with guy, had her heart broken, and been with this guy, and then date this guy for a little bit. And they messed around. Then she's 30, 35. She's been with this guy, and eventually she becomes numb. And he says that instead of working things out in a relationship, she'll just be okay. Well, fuck it. It's getting hard. Fuck this guy. Let me just get a new dick. Instead of just sticking through it and fixing it.
So that sounds like projecting from his point of view.
You think so?
Yeah.
He was saying that a woman.
It almost sounds like that's what he does. Is when things get a little too serious, and maybe he even starts liking the girl, and he has to work through some shit where he has to compromise with her, and he already has these ideas of superiority and what a man and a woman should be in a relationship. He's like, fuck this, I don't want to deal with this drama. Let's break up and I'll go fuck somebody else.
Yeah.
So that might be the story for women too, especially women that got over like divorced and then try to date after having children and just like having some kind of relationship where I mean, sex is definitely something people like having.
Right.
So, when you're alone, especially as a single mom, you want to have sex.
Right.
But it sounds like one person's story. It sounds like a story. It doesn't sound like everybody's story. So like, yeah, there could be jaded people who are in relationships that had, I mean, obviously, if you have a child and now you're divorced, but you're in the dating scene, yeah, you're going to have a different perspective. But that doesn't mean you're going to want to quit on the relationship. I think what happens is you have.
So you don't think that a woman who has a bunch
more experience with people, when there's bullshit happening. Oh, he's just not, either this isn't working or we're not communicating well, or maybe we don't communicate well, or we don't fit together well, and the sex was good, but this is not right. And that's why she moves on. She's not moving on to just another dick. She's moving on to another person that has a dick, obviously. And that happens for men to women. This isn't working out. We're not vibing. She's a little crazy, or like, I don't know if she's the right kind of person, or she's a little.
The crazy women have the best sex, though. I've noticed.
The crazy women?
Yeah. I wonder why. Why do crazy women have the best sex?
I don't know if that's synonymous.
You don't think that's just? I mean, I guess you have exceptions to the rule.
Yeah. And also crazy is a point of view, I guess, like a perspective.
Right.
Because one person's crazy could be somebody else's crazy.
Normal, yeah.
Normal, right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
it's all subjective.
Oh, you're just like me. We kind of act the same. Mm-hmm. You know, so it wouldn't be crazy to another person.
I saw a guy now, but but
and I've met.
Shouldn't crazy just be obvious?
I've met some girls who are really come off as very like librarian, you know, that kind of reserved, and then they're way more wild when it comes to like bed. Yeah, being in the bedroom is different, which is nice.
Yeah, I was thinking.
It's a surprise.
I mean, going back to the whole single mom thing, I
really think that it's a generalization on 8 billion people, men and women. Yes, we all have tendencies, and there's also like the bias, like the what's the word for you know, like women can get away with certain things because they're women,
right?
And men can get away with certain things, yeah, because they're men. The double standard, and so double standards are definitely part of society,
right?
You know, like if a cop pulls up to a domestic dispute, automatically the man is seen as the person that would be committing the abuse which isn't true, and then that can backfire in other situations for females. You know, like the whole thing about rape situations, and there's just so much. You know, so like double standards really make it hard for people, especially when you might have a different temperament, where like some females, and they could look pretty feminine, are more aggressively male minded, and vice versa. Like I identify with my feminine side as well, even though I'm heterosexual. I still know that I'm sensitive in a way that has like feminine energy. I think things are cute. I love dogs and puppies and children and
kittens. Me too.
Like I like cute shit. I have like a warm kind of nurturing side to me.
Yeah, I
want things to be protected and taken care of. But then I have my masculine, aggressive side.
Yeah,
but I don't
like UFC stuff.
Yeah, but I don't like tend towards it. It's there,
right?
But and so like those things are all part of. There's a lot of gray, and to make everything black and white, like Andrew Tate does.
Yeah,
it's like a way to. Well, everybody uses red pill, but it's a way to generalize so that people will be like, have a place to agree with somebody that makes the fault of things that happened in their lives not their fault. Oh, I'm not good with women. I don't know how to tell. I don't have a way to express my emotions in an honest way and be forward with people that I know, and specifically in intimate relationships, and maybe be a good lover, and if I'm not a good lover, learn how to be a good lover, and not be selfish, and not be so egocentric in a way that like makes me think I'm better than somebody just because of my sex.
Right.
So like all those things,
it's all ego, right? You think about it,
everything,
especially male ego. Yes, yeah.
Well, that's how we
got to move that shot. When you remove your ego,
yeah. Well, getting rid of the self is self ego, same shit.
How do you do that? Get the ego out the way.
You have to,
like if your girl fucks another guy, you're like, oh fuck, I'm not a man enough.
See, that's the perspective. I'm not man enough.
Yeah.
Whereas you could say, instead, there's many ways to think about it, but instead, just if you were going to have a monogamous relationship with somebody and they decided they wanted to go fuck around, instead of like comparing yourself, you just let them go and move on. The less energy you waste on what has happened and the decision they made, and now it's clear that they don't want to have the thing that they said they were going to have with you. Instead of getting so like caught up in reasons,
right,
you can just literally move on.
All right, then.
Obviously, this is more theoretical than, because emotions do fly, and there's a lot of like if your inferiority complex might kick in.
Yeah.
And like, so you start like, oh, what did he? It might not be that. It might just be you got to take into consideration them. Yeah. What about their inferiority? Maybe they need to feel like there's more than one person wants me.
Right.
Or maybe they have issues that you don't know about.
Yeah.
So if you start putting it all on you, then you're just giving yourself, and that goes back to the ego. It's like the self automatically gets caught up in the situation and pulls you in.
Because you think that the guy's dick is bigger than yours and shit. I be thinking that like his dick was bigger than mine, wasn't it?
Could be.
Yeah. Then, a lot of times they say, well, you should let her go if his dick was bigger than yours, because then you can't satisfy her. And plus, he's already imprinted his dick inside of her, so now your dick is nothing now.
Yeah. It's like a mold. It's like a mold.
Yeah.
It sized itself inside the vagina, and now your penis has no.
You can't. Right.
It doesn't have a place in her vagina anymore.
I had told a girl. I told a girl this, and I want to hear your opinion on this. And I believe this is true, and women should really
go ahead, because I have something to tell you.
Okay, so women should really take this and be.
And I'll bring it back to another thing too.
Okay, women should really take this in consideration. When men, I think that a man can tell if a man looks at a woman's vagina when he's about to have sex with her, we can tell that she's been with a lot of men, and a lot of women don't. Because I can tell.
I didn't know you were going to go in that direction, but I'd say that.
Can you tell?
No,
I can tell. Because it looks like it looks like an Arby's sandwich.
That's not true. That's genetics.
It's usually
it'll
look more like a peach if she hasn't been.
No, that's
you don't think so?
I personally think that's genetics.
You really?
Yeah, it's just like a penis. It's like the shape and the size and like the length and the thickness, it's like all, and whether it's like you have balls that descend all the way down or not, or whatever, or wrinkly and hairy and all that shit. That's all genetics. Like your vagina. It looks that way because of the genetics.
So you don't think
can it get worn out? Maybe, I don't know. You'd have to have so much sex with and think about it. What if you just had lots of sex with one person? Can it get worn out from that?
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think they're made. The genitals are made for sex.
I slept with this one girl and it felt like she did.
No, what I was gonna say to you, and
that wasn't what you were getting. Like it felt like you've been with a lot of niggas. I felt that shit. I was like, I don't know. It just felt.
Well, I was gonna say to you, instead of it being someone that's fucked a lot, I was gonna say vagina size. Vagina size is not something that's normally focused on in the grand view of like intercourse and really people together. I'm sorry, I'm like kind of off course. I'm searching for the words, but basically you can see a man's penis,
right? You
can't see the size of a woman's vagina. I mean, you kind of can, but you can't. It's inside.
It's inside,
right. So what happens is there's no way to. It's like easy for a girl to be like, oh, he has a small dick. But you can't do that for a woman. And it's like like from a social point of view, it's easy to just look at a guy and go, oh, well, masculine wise, he's kind of like whatever.
Right.
I could just look, even if like he has a nice body, has a small dick, or like he's a skinny guy or a fat guy with a big dick. Like I think women are a little bit more also, not always the case. Yeah. I mean, I had a friend and she didn't like guys that were too big. She personally told me that.
Right.
And I don't think she was lying because we were like really close. She's like, it hurts. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And then on top of it,
it's a discomfort.
It's how hard you can get. So like some men, they're too flaccid. They don't actually have a good erection. So that's like something important when it comes to sex.
Maybe women have, women are just like men are big. Women are probably born with big vaginas.
That's what I'm trying to say. Right. Genetics.
They just built.
Some people have small vaginas.
So it's not that she's been with a bunch of men.
Exactly.
It just be you just have a small dick for her size of her vagina.
Right.
Your dick,
but you don't have to say small.
Mm-hmm.
You can have an average dick or a good dick, and she has a giant vagina.
So she needs. Wow.
Your vagina's too
big. She just was made with a big ass vagina.
Yeah.
So she has.
I've had different experiences with different women.
So you think
I'm not going to try to. I'll put this on record, but I've definitely had sex with a lot of women, enough to know that there's different sizes, and I'm perceived by different women, and this is a brain thing too. That he's big, he's average, he's small. Different women. Yeah.
So you should.
And it wasn't it wasn't technically said to me. I could just tell by our interactions.
Right.
You know, sometimes there was like small comments about like, oh, you know, this feels you have a nice whatever.
Right. Right.
Like nothing like to the I had one girl that would like blow me up and say, oh, like you're huge, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. I was like, I know, like I've seen porn. I'm doing okay, but I'm not like, you know, and so. There's a lot of factors in sex and also perceived reality. You know, so like if you're adored by somebody,
right,
they might see, you know, I've heard that sometimes women literally size you up because they're into you. And so they're perceiving differently.
Right.
Yeah. But then there's also the feel, like you can't tell, like I said, woman can be big, and
so
you only find out when you're there,
right? So
and then things get really weird when like if she's really wet, and then it's like there's not a lot of sensation because
right.
It's not snug,
right.
Yeah, people want to feel pressure on both sides,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that must be what
that's what you want to feel, the merging of each
That's
other.
A fair assessment. You shouldn't just automatically assume that woman been with a bunch of men just because her vagina is big.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It works that way when women get pregnant and have a baby. Vaginas are very resilient and retractable. Right. But I hear this is, I mean, I could be 100% wrong, that it does change.
When she's giving birth,
you're pushing out a very large object,
yeah,
and so it changes the shape and form.
Yeah,
and it changes the chemical makeup of a woman. Women that had thinning hair like grow hair.
Right.
So like it changes your entire body. So pushing out physically,
and you know what, the chick,
your hips and everything have to open up. You know, they're using forceps. So
in her defense, the woman she did have two. Yeah, she did have 2 kids. So
there you go. That plays a big part.
Right.
You can get a C-section. There's all kinds of stuff involved.
So I shouldn't just say, "Oh, she's been with a lot of men because her coochie."
That's just an assumption.
Yeah, you shouldn't just do that.
Yeah.
She probably was born with a big vagina.
Yeah. Because I met a girl who was 10 years older than me, and she had way less sex than I had. You know, she was like in her 50s when I was in my 40s, my early 40s. And I was like her third person. It was really, really sweet, and I had a great relationship with her. But like, you know, and that goes back to the same thing. Like she said to me once after we had sex, she was like, "You're one of the best lovers I've been with." She already disclosed to me that she only had 2 other lovers. And I was like, thank you. You know, that really it was sweet, but I was also like, I mean, you haven't been with a lot of people. So it's like, how do you know?
Right, you don't know. Yeah.
I mean, up to this point, yeah. I mean, we did really have
that. Would probably be more, but that'd probably be better of a compliment if like you were slept with like
a porn
like,
star,
like Vanessa Del Rio or something. Oh,
maybe.
Really? Wow, like
that would actually
you've been with hundreds of men. Like,
yeah, that's like hanging out with an athlete and playing sports with an athlete, and them telling you, "Wow, you're really good for a non-athlete."
Right? You're like, oh shit, yeah.
You're keeping up.
Right.
You actually impressed me.
Right. So that would be more of a compliment.
But I also think it goes back to mind.
Yeah. So you would want to be with a woman who've been with a lot of men, because then you want to see how you cut the mustard.
Maybe. Well,
hey, I know you've been with a lot of men. Could you give me a go to see how well I've done? Like,
so one girl that I told you that I was very attracted to, and we were having lots of sex. She told me a story, and at the time I wasn't as secure as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But she told me a story about a guy she was with, and she was like, "Oh, he had a really big dick." But then she's like, we were like eating dinner. I'm like, why are you telling me this?
It's out of the blue. How's your salmon? My salmon was good. You know, my boyfriend, like, he had a really big dick. Like,
it was an amazing cock. And I was like, oh, that's great. And she's like, I think we were also talking about sex. But she was also, she was like, but he didn't know how to have sex. Like, he wasn't good at having sex.
He didn't know how to use his cock.
No. And he didn't know how to, like, ravish her. You know, like, be with her.
Yeah.
And, like, me and her, like, we vibed in bed, and I was like very like in tune with her and like getting her off.
Yeah.
And like it felt so good, and I was like in the zone. Auto zone. And yeah, and I remember she would exclaim this to not strangers, friends that we would be like at a dinner.
Yeah.
And she would tell them this, and I'm sorry if I'm trying to like riz myself.
Yeah.
But like
she would tell her,
this is how it let me know that I was doing something right. She's like, hey, he's no, not about the other guy.
No, about you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but she said like
in front of friends, and
his dick is Justin's dick.
No. Well, that's the thing. Like somebody would look at me and be like, well, do you have a big dick? I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I just. And I would,
so wait a minute. She would brag to other people about how
our sex.
How'd that make you feel?
It made me feel great. But honestly,
Justin's cock. He's not that big, but he knows how to fucking work.
Well, no, because there were other couples that we were.
He's a cocksman.
There were other couples at the table. There were other couples at the table talking about sex, and one of them, he was well endowed, and she was like, "I ran away the first time we had to have sex." She's like, "I'm not going anywhere near that thing." And so they were talking about, and she explained. She was saying how she's like, he's so good, and I was like, and then we started getting into the nitty gritty of it, and I was explaining, and I don't think I was bullshitting. I think I use my chi when I have sex.
Okay.
Because one thing you do when you...
I know you say you practice.
I do Qigong, which is a breathing meditation to learn how to like build Qi. And there's different forms of it. But when you learn Kung Fu, you have to learn how to use your Qi to fight. That's all right. And two ways you can use it are for defense and offense. And one is you can kind of encase yourself in it by